Hey, it's Vito from 6Skates coming at you from the shop. Today we have something different, very special episode of the 6Skates Fingerboard Podcast. This one is all about you. We're answering questions from the internet. That's right, we put a call out on Instagram for people to send their questions, and this is me answering their questions. So stay tuned, a lot to go through, some juicy questions in here, and we're gonna get it started off with a banger right off the top. We have a question from Gripskin. This one is from Manu. He says, is a physical only shop possible? Or is it more an online shop with a storefront? So all the questions is gonna be answered from our perspective. So physical only, I say, depends entirely on your location and what you're trying to achieve. For us, a physical only shop wouldn't be possible. It has to be a blend of online sales and physical sales. The shop serves as a gathering point for the scene in Toronto. We have the shop open, no charge to come in. We just want people to come in, have fun, enjoy fingerboarding, discover the scene, and come hang out with fingerboarders. Something happens if you've never been to a fingerboard shop before and you're a fingerboarder, you come here, you see other people fingerboarding, and you get a real sense of community. And in my view, it really helps cement the scene and people in the scene. We've grown as a shop over the past 2.5 years. We started as a small little shop downtown Toronto, and we had to find something a little bigger and closer to home, although the shop is still tiny compared to other places worldwide. But in summary, Manu, I think that it would be next to impossible for a fingerboard shop to exist only on in-person fingerboard shop sales without an online presence. Next, we have a question from the Fingerboarding Dad. And I'll link all the Instagrams or show them on the screen underneath so you can go follow these fine people. So Fingerboarding Dad said, what's the most frustrating thing about running a FB business or small business in general? I'm not gonna lie, running a fingerboard business is pretty fun, but it's still in the end has some frustrating points. For me, I would say it would be fucking up on people's orders, which we've done more than I'd like to admit. We carry so many SKUs in the shop, so many similar but different items. Like if you're in a rush packing orders and you pick up a set of Dynamics, you see one thing, but in reality it's another thing. You see a special edition, but in reality it is regular edition. So that really sucks when a customer gets the wrong thing in the order, but we try to make it right any way that we can if that does happen. That would be the most frustrating part for myself, is screwing up on people's orders. You know, they put trust in you to get things right with their hard-earned money, and when something arrives at your doorstep and it's not what you ordered, I can just imagine how disappointed someone feels. But if it happens to you, reach out to us and we will do our best to make things right for you. Other than that, I would be just like paperwork and bookkeeping and taxes and all that type of administrative shit, which needs to get done, but nobody likes to do. But if you don't do, then you know you're in a bunch of hot water come down the line. And yeah, that would be it. Next is a question from Heel Flip Tutorial. How do you differentiate yourself as a deck maker in a seemingly saturated market? That's a great question, and you are correct. Fingerboards are arguably the most accessible of all fingerboard products for people to make. It's usually the first product that a new brand starts making is fingerboards, because all the information is out there now. It's pretty much common knowledge on how to make a fingerboard, so that's number one go-to for new brands is fingerboards. Let's see. The first thing I would say is know why you are starting this brand. Are you starting this brand just to sell decks? Are you starting this brand because you want to make a product to use yourself? Are you starting this brand because you're an artist and want a canvas to put your artwork in? So that would be the number one step, is know why you're doing it. After that is just make decks. Make as many decks as you can. Perfect the process. Put your own spin on it. And don't do the same thing everybody else is doing. I know that sounds impossible, but design your own mold, design your own process, do something different. Artwork, don't do the same artwork as everybody else. Make your own artwork, put a different spin on it, and then make hundreds of decks. Once you've made your decks and you perfected your process, then start giving them away at events, to friends, to homies. Hook it out yourself. Use your own decks and prove that there's something good. Once they're good enough that people like them, that you like them, then test the market out there. Try to start selling them. Start an Instagram account. And slowly but surely, you're going to get a following if your product or your angle is good. That's pretty much the recipe for success. And it's pretty much a recipe for failure as well. If any part along the way is not up to snuff, then your boards aren't going to sell. And go back, retool, and try again with a different method, different angle, different marketing, different design, and keep testing until what you have is good enough for people to latch onto and sell. The market is saturated, yes, but still there's brands breaking through, doing something different that people want. Okay, next one up is from Nosco Dex. Favorite thing about / least favorite thing about it? About what? Owning a shop? Favorite thing about owning a shop is seeing people in person fingerboarding and kind of like, holy shit, this is the thing. We're here in person. The look in their eyes, like it's amazing when they say, I've only seen these online, these parks, these items, these things online, and I'm super stoked to see them in person. That's our favorite thing. Least favorite thing, I kind of covered in a previous question, is kind of like the admin stuff and when you screw up on orders. Next question up from Counter Culture FB. Do it alone or make it a team effort? I would say it depends on what you're doing. If you're doing, it doesn't depend on what you're doing. I would say do it alone. Start off alone, get your vision done, and then slowly bring people in around you who share the vision and can help push you forward. They don't have to be partners. They can just be like supporters. That's how we do it at 6Skates. We started off alone in the basement, then expanded it to family. Shout out to Dom. He's a huge part of what we're doing here right now. And also shout out to Vic and Tara. They are part of the team here at 6Skates. And without them, we wouldn't be able to have grown to this level. Conversely, without the local scene coming out and supporting in person at events, moving parks around, without them, we wouldn't be able to do it either. So in short, start out alone, get a vision for what you want to do, and then, you can bring friends and family in after, and definitely you need support from the local in-person community and online community to push you forward. Great question. Thank you. We got a question from Clayno here. What's the process to carry other brands in your shop? All right, so we get this one a lot. We also get a lot of questions from brand new accounts or brand new deck makers just trying to sell us stuff straight out of the hop. So here's an inside tip on what you have to do to get into 6Skates. The easy route is if we reach out to you. So it's something we want to have in the shop. So, we reach out to makers all the time and say, we love what you're doing. We've tried your stuff out and we want you in the shop. So if you get a message from us, please respond so we can get you in the shop and on our shelves and online. The second route that people get in the shop is by sending us a sample or giving us a sample when we're in person. And if it's something we love and blows us away, then, we're happy to carry stock. If it's something that needs a little improvement, we've had to say that to people as well. It's not a comfortable conversation, but if something isn't up to par to be sold online or in shop, I'll ask the person if they're open to some constructive feedback. If they say yes, then we give it to them. If they say no, then we just say it's a perfect product, but it's not for us at this time. So here's something not to do. Don't reach out to us and ask to be sold in the shop if you don't have a following or sales of your own already. Having a fingerboard shop is a lot of work, and we carry a lot of brands, and so we can't push all the brands constantly. The feed would be constantly full of marketing, and that's not something we want to do. We want to push 6Skates as a whole and carry everybody with us. And it's tough to do if we're constantly plugging new brands and doing their marketing for them. So make sure you have a following already. Make sure you have sales already. Make sure you have your product dialed in, because I hate getting a new drop of decks in and having to sell them as blems. It doesn't look good on us, and it doesn't look good on the brand that we're repping. So make sure your products are dialed in first. Make sure you have a following and online sales and marketing presence already, so we can push this fingerboard scene together. And third, make sure when you send us product that it's all top-notch product. So yeah, that's the process. That goes for wheels, obstacles, everything we carry. So it's pretty straightforward yet convoluted at the same time. All right, thanks for the question, Cleano. All right, next we got Kamikaze Kane. How important is the logo? Do you have a mission before doing anything? Yeah, the logo is important, yet it is part of the process that I have the least strength on. So yes, logo is important, but it's not everything. So do I remember how we came up with the 6Skates? How do we come up with the 6Skates logo? So the 6Skates logo kind of evolved over time. 6 comes from the 6 being the short form for Toronto, for 416 being the first area code here for telephone area code. So that's where the 6 come from. And Skates is obvious skateboard company, 6Skates, and kind of rolls off the tongue. The font was chosen kind of at random. We found some online font generator like 7 or 8 years ago, put in 6Skates, and kind of like the way it looked, and it's stuck ever since. I don't even know the name of the font now. It's kind of a PNG file. It's not even a font file anymore. So I have to do some research and go back and find that original font. 6 with the wings. It kind of just all fit. It wasn't a one-time thing. It kind of evolved into that. So that's how we came up with our logo. A mission statement before. It's always best to have a mission or a direction on how you want to do things. It kind of influences everything that you're going to do afterwards. Again, it's not something we're super strong on. As you can see from our Instagram history or website history, we're kind of all over the place, and it's something I am working on, or we are working on doing in the streamlining in the future. We have a brand kit we're working on having to do with colors and fonts and just overall brand image. So this is something we started doing in 2025 and going to continue to focus in on 2026. But yes, continuity in brand image is very important, and it is something that all brands have to work on, including 6Skates. So I would recommend setting that stuff up once you have every other part of your business plan in process, or even some people start it from the beginning. They start from the brand image, and then they work out after that. That's not how I do it, but that's how I guess the most successful brands have done it. But yeah, we do some things ass backwards here at 6Skates, but it seems to be working for us. All right, the next question comes from the one and only world-renowned YouTuber, TikTok star, live streamer, Instagram influencer, vlogger extraordinaire, Mr. FB Christopher. Shout out, Chris. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. Come on, let's catch up in person this year, 2026, a couple of times. We hope to see you out on the road, all right? So here's Chris's question. Do you believe a new brand can grow and become successful without social media content? The short answer is no, and the long answer is hell no. Social media is free. We built 6Skates on Instagram, and it was free. Without people getting out there and telling other people what's going on with their products, with their lives, with their hobbies, like 6Skates wouldn't be a thing. You know, not everybody, people shit on Instagram and social media. I do too. It's definitely it's got its downfalls. It's taking up too much of my life, 100%. But it also, the flip side is that it gives back. It gives back to businesses. It gives back to the community. We wouldn't be here without Instagram. I'm just going to say it. You have to set, like anything in life, too much of a good thing turns into a bad thing, but you have to set your limits. And I have personally, but you need a social media. Pick your social media platform to grow your brand, your business, and just to tell people what's going on. Like without Instagram, you wouldn't be watching this podcast. Without YouTube, you wouldn't be watching this podcast. So you got to put the time in and engage with your fellow fingerboarders and learn. You don't just follow Instagram accounts like we do. My YouTube is like total like small business, IT, website design, all that type of stuff. So everything we've done with 6Skates, I've learned through podcasts, I've learned through YouTube, and I've learned through Instagram. So if you don't do that, I think the chance of success is very, 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 very tiny. So thanks for the question, Christopher. So keep on influencing, brother. Next, we have Age from Rise FB. What's your favorite part about owning an FB shop? So aside from having people come in and hanging out and making friends, the next favorite, or actually, yeah, that would be 1B. 1A would be traveling for fingerboarding. We've been all around the world with this crazy hobby, business, pastime, fingerboarding. And 2025 was fucking nuts. We were everywhere. I still have to calculate the amount of kilometers we traveled, but it was in the tens of thousands. We did Boston, Rendezvous, FBCon in April. We did Fingerboard Con in fucking Barcelona. We were in Rendezvous, in Texas Rendezvous. We were at the Utah store opening and skate station. We did a lot of like local events too, out of town. We went to visit our friends in Japan at UAG. So it was a crazy, crazy year for us in 6Skates. And it was amazing. And the one thing I learned is that fingerboarding transcends nationalities, it transcends countries, it transcends languages. Like in Japan, we were fingerboarding with the homies who didn't speak English, but we had the common knowledge of fingerboarding and fun, and it was an awesome time, and I wouldn't change it for anything. 2026 is going to be more of the same. We might slow it down a little bit because we went too hard in 2025, but definitely 2026 is going to be a crazy year for fingerboarding. We got some plans in the works already. November going to be in Germany for Fast Fingers. We're going to be Kings of Munich. We're going to be in Munich, and November Fingerboard Con in Boston, and then hopefully a couple of last minute side trips as well. So that has been favorite by a little part of owning a fingerboard shop is getting the chance to rep 6Skates around the world and rep Canadian brands too. We also bring lots of Canadian products when we go with us on these adventures. Great question. Thanks, Age. All right, next we got one up from melon.lemons on Instagram, and their question is, how can I get started making decks as someone who has no experience? Number one would be to get yourself a pre-made mold. I would say save your pennies and get yourself create your skate mold over any of the ones you have on Amazon. Just the quality of the molds are head and shoulders above the rest, and you will save yourself a ton of time and money in veneers, and frustration is the number one point in getting a better molds. We had a run of those about 2 months ago and sold out, but I'm getting ready to put another order in. So if you're in North America and want to order from us, you can do that in the next month or so, or you can hit them up in person. Create Your Skate, definitely the best beginner mold out there. If you're gonna go with something from Amazon or eBay, yes, it's a lot cheaper, but remember, you get what you pay for, and you want this to be the best experience possible, so you will keep making fingerboards and start that next huge fingerboard brand. All right, next one up from fb.jt. I'm thinking about starting a content creation channel, not selling product yet. Any tips? Just start. Do anything fingerboard related. Go maybe like a vlog style. I assume this is on YouTube. So first thing would be to watch the current content creators out there and consume their content. That kind of sounds like a horrible sentence, but watch their shit sounds better. Watch their shit and see what you like about it. And don't do the exact same thing. Put your own twist on it. Put FBJT's spin on what you want to see on fingerboard content. So maybe it's a vlog about your daily trick routine or how you fingerboard in the wild, or like a million things you could do, and then just do it. And don't be afraid to put it online. At first, probably not too many people are going to watch it, but that's good because they won't see you. Your early videos, which will probably be cringe just like everybody else's early videos. And then forget that you ever made it. Put it out there, keep it out there, but don't rewatch it, especially years down the road when you're a famous YouTuber. Well, that's what I do anyways. I don't go back and watch any of my old videos, especially the first ones, because they are so cringe to me. But that's the only way you can learn and improve on any craft, is just to put the hours in and do it. I don't recommend going buying expensive gear. I'm filming this on my iPhone, and then eventually we went out and bought a microphone. But like use your cell phone, and that's all you need. Number one is just go out and do it and put it online. And don't think too much about what people are going to say about it or what you think about it afterwards. Just go out and do it. Okay, next one is a question from Zach Menace. It's a question about fingerboard industry. What's the biggest hurdle to industry growth? That's a good question. And the first thing would be, like, I really don't like using the word industry when I talk about fingerboarding. For me, it's more like the community or scene. Industry kind of has like a cold and just purely monetary tone to it. And if you own a fingerboarding brand, you know that this is not a way to print money. So like industry, I'm thinking brings to mind like the coal industry or the natural gas industry or some kind of commodity. That's what pops into my head when I think of fingerboard, or when I think of industry. So I'm going to use the term community or scene. For the scene to grow, I think we just need more people fingerboarding. We need more people to make the transition from the tech deck to like a starter deck to then a pro complete. It's like a funnel. You have hundreds of thousands of people tech decking or using the toy brands, and they either don't know that real fingerboarding is a thing, or it's inaccessible to them. So we pride ourselves in having the starter deck, the 6Skates starter deck, and that's the first step into actual fingerboarding from using a tech deck. From there, usually I would say maybe half of the people who buy a starter deck get hooked on it, or are good enough that they will see an improvement if they start moving into pro products. So that's the next part of the funnel, from the starter decks to like the pro gear. We usually recommend like a wheel upgrade and maybe a deck upgrade after that. And if you've made it that far, then you're pretty much call yourself a fingerboarder and you're part of the scene. After that, people kind of come and go into the scene. There's your diehards that we see every week, or that you engage with constantly at every event online. Sorry, that you engage with constantly at every event in person, or that are constant posters online of clips and tricks and stuff like that. And then there's the people that float in and out of the fingerboard scene, on a monthly or yearly or bi-yearly basis. And we love all these people. And the only way to get them back is to give them a place in a platform to fingerboard and to express themselves. And so the biggest hurdle to growth is getting the tech deckers into fingerboarding proper. And we are trying our best with shop and events and providing cheap starter decks to those people to make the transition. Hope that answered your question. If anybody else has any other recommendations or things they think is a hurdle, you can put it in the comments below. All right, this is a question on creativity and art design for decks from Traxxas Tract, TXRD from Instagram. All right, so you can check their Instagram profile here. Where does the creative process come when designing your next deck art? So, full transparency, I am not the best person to answer this question because I find this as one of the hardest things to do is to design decks art. As a result, we do collaborations with artists. We've done collaborations with well-known artists like Frank Frazetta and David Lazo. Those are our two new artist series. We've also done some collaboration with local artists. So we had a contest put out through the Plies magazine last year in 2025, which we awarded 3 deck designs. We also did a collaboration with Ravioli. So we have a bunch of collaborations. For our own artwork, we like to keep it simple, usually some kind of take on Toronto or our logo or the 6Skates graffiti here. But it is definitely a hurdle for myself. So we outsource that as much as we can with collaborations. If you're an artist and you have some more appropriate responses, then you can put them in the comments below for other people to gain on your experience. All right, next up from Chris_Cranch from Instagram. Do you feel stressed and how do you deal with it? Yes, I feel stressed. Everybody feels stressed. If you don't feel some type of stress in your life, then something is wrong. You have to feel stress. It's the one of the main human motivators is stress. Now, too much stress is what I think you're getting at, and that is not a good thing. How do I deal with stress? It's a difficult thing. I like to listen to music and unwind listening to music. My downtime is watching YouTube. But then again, I'm just kind of like watching YouTube, fingerboarding and podcasts related to business, YouTube videos related to business or anything else that kind of interests me at the moment. But for some reason, it helps me relax. Spending time with family is a de-stressor most of the time. Shout out to family. Fingerboarding is although I'm not great at it, it is a de-stressor for me, and I'm kind of lucky because thinking about fingerboarding, thinking about products, designing products, making products is not stressful for me, and I actually find that de-stressful. Like right now, where I'm in the process of refining the next version of Mercury wheels, and we've figured out how to make the molds with a beefy bearing lock out of and how to make the wheels out of urethane. So we have abandoned our previous plastic wheel formula because we just couldn't get it right and they kept breaking. But fingers crossed, I think we've figured out how to make them out of poured urethane, like full-size skate wheels. So I found that process de-stressful. The dog Daisy is very comforting. She knows when you've had a bad day, and she'll sit on your lap, and kind of magically goes away after that. Over the past year or so, the news has been stressing me out, so I practically watch no news. I've cleared my algorithm of anything having to do with current events, and that has been unbelievably de-stressing. So if that's something that triggers you, I would recommend doing that. maybe you can take some of my tips or what works for me and adapt it for your own use. So thanks for the question, Chris. Yes, I get stress, and we deal with it the best way we can. But it's important to differentiate between a good stress and bad stress. All right, we got another question from Chris. How much does networking help out in and out of your country or province? So networking is huge. Again, is another term. I don't really like to use the term networking because to me it brings to mind like business meetings and ties and suits and handing out business cards and all that type of shit, which is not what I mean by networking. Networking to me in the fingerboard sense is getting out to events and talking to people. It's huge. That's how I met Ollie from Black River. Was a few years ago at a rendezvous event. I was wandering around. I recognized him and just started talking to him about some ideas I had. And luckily he had the same point of view on the same type of topics. And we kind of forged a relationship from there. And it's helped 6Skates grow. We're now like one of the biggest carriers of Black River products in North America. Partnered on Fingerboard Con, sponsored, Fast Fingers online, Fast Fingers in person, and I don't think that would have happened if we didn't have a conversation. Same with Clayton, Slush Cult, just meeting these people in person. FB Christopher, Jake PFB, just going up to them and talking to them, finding out you have like shit in common, even though we're many decades apart. It's the fingerboard that brings us together. We have the same view on the scene, the same view on fingerboarding, and pushing that forward is the only way to go. Like it's hard to imagine that we got the crew from California and we met in Germany and spent 2 weeks together driving and hanging out and in the same hotel and doing Fingerboard Con. It's like these things are crazy, and they wouldn't be possible without fingerboarding and talking to people and making connections and networking. Yeah, so I think doing it out of province is important because it brings the scene as a whole in person, and then it kind of brings Toronto and Ontario and Canada to the worldwide scene as well. And along with that, we try to do the same thing here in shop. We try to promote the local brands and to the world, and we try to go to local events and slap hands with people and talk and fingerboard and just try to move everything forward together as a scene with people we like and people that have the same point of view. So that would be the number one thing if you are trying to have a brand, is to find your people and do things together and move the scene together. Got another one from Kamikaze Kane. How many products should a new brand have available when they start? Is one thing limiting? I would say one thing is not limiting. I would say do that one thing well. Once you have your, here's some e-com speak, once you have your MVP product, then you can start expanding slowly. We started doing fingerboards. From there, we did like our 3D printed deck racks. And after that, we kind of listened to what the community wanted and saw the trends in Canada and North America and expanded our product line to like 500 SKUs now. I haven't counted, but right now we have like not only our own products, which we make not as often as we would like, but most of our offerings are from other brands in the community. So I would say start with one thing, do that well. After that, you can move on to 2 or 3 things, and then see what your people want. If they want completes, then go source some trucks, source some wheels. We can help you out with that. If you're not ready to order huge bulk orders from China for shop or truck wheels, and we can help you out with smaller orders. Just reach out to us and I can make that happen. But yeah, start out with one thing, do it well, and then go on to other things. Thanks for the question. That's a good one. All right, we got 3 questions left. This one comes up from Welly FB on Instagram. Why did you stop making full-size boards? And there's a part 2 we'll get to after. So making full-size boards is difficult. It's time-consuming. It's labor-intensive, space-intensive. Once it's made, the shipping is a pain in the ass, and marketing is very difficult. You are going up against multi-million-dollar corporations who are selling skateboards that are mass-produced in China and in Mexico, which is their bread and butter. So they've got pro riders, they've got networks in place, they've got mass production, years and years and years of history and market dominance. So we tried it for a bit, bespoke board making, mostly turning old thrashed skateboards into small cruiser decks and making full-size cruiser decks. It went okay. We sold a few, but it was just a difficult endeavor. And we were getting ready to pack up and close 6Skates for good when we found fingerboarding. Shout out to our team rider Dragon. We were having a yard sale and selling some of our full-size boards. And I think he picked one up, a full-size board, but him and his dad came and visited. He was only a small little boy at the time, and he's a huge guy right now. But yeah, he was just a small guy. And he made me a wooden fingerboard pressed in between 2 tech decks. So that was our foyer or introduction into the real world of fingerboarding. Thank you, Dragon. Turned us on to fingerboarding. And that was 2019, I think. Just before the pandemic or just after the pandemic. Well, we had a yard sale. So anyways, it was in 2019. We started this 6Skates fingerboard adventure and haven't looked back since, mainly because of the community and how great you guys were and the support that came locally and online. So yeah, so that's why we stopped making full-size boards, because it was too hard. And next was part 2, please carry more 29mm decks. Heard you loud and clear. We will do our best to carry more 29mm decks. Put your comments below on the brands that you want to see 29mm decks from, all right? Put them below. Thank you very much, Welly FB. The next one comes from Orion Brown Angus. Which is the next pro fingerboarder you're sponsoring? So we do sponsoring a little different at 6Skates. We don't sponsor riders right now that we don't know. So everybody that rides for 6Skates is a 6Skates shop rider. They are locals that come into the shop and that we see on a regular or semi-regular basis. This is just because it is difficult to have a pro fingerboard team, and we do not have the resources to manage a pro fingerboard team. That is not people we don't see. We don't have the resources to sponsor pro fingerboarders that we don't see on a regular basis. It takes a lot of time and effort, and we tried it once years and years and years ago, and it just wasn't fair to the team riders because they don't get the attention that they deserve. They don't get the product that they need to be pro riders for your team. So in short, the only team riders we have are shop riders, and those are people that you see come into the shop every week or bi-weekly. And yeah, I'll post them up after this video. You'll see some clips from our shop riders. And shout out to the shop riders. You guys are awesome. Thanks for coming out and supporting with your videos and tagging and clips. And yeah, so we like to repost them as much as we can. So check out our feed and you'll find them. But also, we'll have some clips after this video. All right, our final question is a doozy, a hot take question coming from Beetle FB. He asks, what do you think about the hype of some really famous brands like Knife or Beast Pants? All right, here's my hot take. I say, I hate you. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I am super jealous of these hype brands and the following they have. I want 6Skates to be the next hype brand, $1,000 decks. No, I'm just kidding. A little bit of truth. I am jealous because they've got their marketing down pat. They've got their deck their deck design. Everything about those brands are super tight, and I am trying to learn as much from these brands as possible. They deserve the hype they get. They deserve all their success. I'm not sure why people hate on them. I guess they hate us because they ain't us type of vibe. But the same with Woob. Like I've got a few Woob decks. They're fucking amazing. I can see why he's charging $300 retail deck, because the time that goes into making one of those decks, you're probably making a regular profit margin off a $300 deck with the amount of time that goes into making one of those decks, which is another point altogether, that the profit margin on these makers making their own handmade decks is so minuscule once you put the time, effort, electricity, materials, time and marketing, taking pictures, all that crap. People aren't getting rich off of $60 or $70 US decks, that's for sure. As for Knife, their aesthetic, their vibe, everything they do is on point, and they deserve the hype status they're getting. Should they charge more for their decks retail? Hell yeah. Why wouldn't you? That's what I would do. I would charge more because the demand is there. Why should someone buying a deck for $60 and then flipping it on eBay for $200? Why should they get that profit? Why should they profit off of all the hard work that Andy and the boys are putting in behind the brand? Again, no hate out to the flippers out there. You know, I'm a capitalist, obviously, but like I said, the brands need the props. Same with Beast Pants. Should he charge more? I say yeah, charge more. But if you can't afford it, you know, it sucks, but there's $20 boards out there. If you're mad because a Beast Pants Woob Knife deck is expensive, then buy a cheaper deck. There's $20 deck makers out there that are just as functional as the Woobs and knife boards. If you want the expensive hype decks because you are into the hype, then you got to pay for it. You're part of why the decks are expensive and popular, and it has nothing to do with the. It shouldn't bring hate on the brand that their decks are so popular that so many people want them that the price is getting crazy expensive. If anything, they should raise the price to meet the demand. That's it. If you can afford it, you can afford it. If you can't afford it, there's cheaper options. If they were the only providers of decks and no one else in the world made fingerboards, and the only way you could get a fingerboard was through Knife, Woob, or Beast Pants, then maybe there's a different discussion to be made around accessibility, but that is definitely not the case. There are hundreds of brands out there, maybe thousands worldwide, and a lot of them are on the lower end of the price range and accessible to everybody who can't afford or get their hands on one of the hate brands. That is it for the questions from the internet. Now a little bit on 6Skates and what's going on. All right, I spent all my time rambling. Now let's do a little quick shop update here. We are so skim on Black River products, specifically obstacles right now, but there is a shipment that is being packed right now in Schwarzenbach, Germany, and we should have that hopefully in the next month or so, including a restock on 32 millimeter trucks and some other trucks. We do have a good assortment of trucks in stock right now. There's the Black River. We got our UAG trucks, 32, 34, some deli trucks left, lots of dynamics, and holy shit, I almost forgot. The biggest news in the scene in quite a long time, the Joy Cult Indie trucks. Yes, we have, by the time this video comes out, these will have been sold, obviously, but restock is coming in shortly. So we'll have a good stock of those too. Hopefully it'll be something we can carry for a long time. Hopefully, in a long time. Jesus Christ, I talk so much, I don't know what I'm saying. Hopefully it'll be a regular stock available all the time at 6Skates. Event-wise, this year is going to be an awesome year for events. First one is going to be on the 31st of January. I think I have the date right. 31st of January. It's the 3 years on the Danforth. We have been at this location in Toronto, Canada, 1936 Danforth Avenue for 3 years now. Crazy, 3 years. Yeah, so come out. It's going to be a shop event. We'll do contests, have some food, maybe cake. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. Also, Fingerboard Con in Boston, happening in April again. We're going to get ready to sell the tickets in January sometime. Not sure the exact dates. Huge support from our vendor applications. We got so many vendors. It's going to be tough to pick the final crew for this year's vending. And got some surprises up our sleeve for handling of tickets and how you can buy tickets and transfer tickets. It's going to be a lot better than last year. We heard you loud and clear. Last year was kind of crap with ticket handling, but we got those problems solved. So watch out for those. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Oh shit, we're going to Germany. Yes, Fast Fingers Germany this year will be there. We're also going to check out the Aussie Berlin shop. Timo, we'll see you in a few months. And Kings of Munich, we're going to check that out as well. So yes, we're hitting the road again this year. It's going to be an awesome year, 2026. No matter what anybody says, it's going to be an awesome year. Don't listen to haters. 2026 is going to be awesome. Check out these clips from our team riders coming up next.